Philadelphia, Kimmo Timonen retired with much glory. His last part of his last season winning a Stanley Cup with Chicago. But nearly 8 of his 16 NHL years were here. Here's the PA voice of the Flyers and future inductee into the Philadelphia Sports Hall of Fame, Lou Nolan.
Words that can make an athlete a legend in a city built on the same foundations. In 2007, a feisty Finn with the heart of a lion pulled the orange and black jersey over his head, laced up his skates, and began his journey with his new Philadelphia family. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we celebrate the career of our number 44. Tonight is Kimmo Timonen Retirement Night.
Cuts in, slows down, dinks, and scores!
Timonen holding there, and a blast, score!
Back out now, Timonen, they score!
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the ice, number 44, Kimmo Timonen. This time we ask Blackhawks captain Jonathan Toews, Flyers captain Claude Giroux to join Kimmo center ice for tonight's ceremonial puck drop. Ladies and gentlemen, number 44.
Olympian and last June an NHL champion.
I told Kimmo, you're getting the cup first tonight.
Come here, Kimmo! Let's get it, baby! Let's go! Woo!
It was just the coolest moment in my hockey life.
Nothing better than that, giving it to a guy like you. Thank you.
Here are the Honda starting goalies. For Chicago, Corey Crawford, third start in the fourth Blackhawks game, 10th year in the organization, 6th as the go-to guy, 40 wins in the last 3 playoffs, 2 titles. Michael Neuvirth shut out Florida Monday, native of the Czech Republic. After 5 years in the Caps organization, came here as a free agent July 1st. A goalie named Ron Hextall, now the general manager, picked him. Artemi Panarin, a 23-year-old rookie, played 5 years in the KHL, 4 points in 3 games as a Blackhawk. Knows hockey, learning English. Jake Voracek is very well spoken in that language. Highest point total ever in his career last year at 81. He'll be with Claude Giroux and Michael Raffl on left wing tonight, and we are underway with Jonathan Toews winning the first faceoff, and it's dealt back in for Neuberg to watch. Mark Streit stood in the way there and continues the battle and is able to push it away. Started right back on for the shovel back out by Streit on the bounce, poked away from Wayne Simmons, and a second time, and the play goes offside. It is Joel Quenneville. Stanley Cup 3 times in 6 years, third winningest coach in history, 26 wins away from the late Al Arbour for second. Add those two totals of Arbour and Quenneville together, and you might approximate Scotty Bowman's number first. And Dave Hackstall, after 11 years at the University of North Dakota, some quality time in the U.S. Hockey League before that, Eddie. And now, the mentor of the Flyers.
Yeah, head coach in Sioux City, Iowa, with the Sioux City Musketeers at one time. And we had a real good visit with Dave Hackstall at the pregame skate earlier today.
Ryan Garbutt able to push that one back in and goes after it. Michael Del Zotto takes over there. Coming off, I would argue, his best year as a professional, Del Zotto, here in Philadelphia a year ago, and he, number 15, chases this one down, but it's no matter. It's an icing.
Well, Eddie and Doc, one of the real luxuries that Joel Quenneville has is having a player like Marcus Kruger. Not many teams can play their fourth-line center against an elite player like Claude Giroux. But with Andrew Shaw and Andrew Desjardins now, because of the icing, Garbutt's going to come on, Desjardins off. But what a luxury, Eddie, to have a player like Kruger on your fourth line.
You need those role players. Two things they got to do, accept and execute. And Kruger's been able to do that in whatever role it might be, but it speaks to the depth of the Blackhawks that Pierre's touching on.
Especially at the center position, because they've Andrew Shaw on the wing, as you were talking. Radko Gudas back to play this one. Threw it back around, and it's cut off by Desjardins. Desjardins threw it off the outside of the cage. It rattled around and is chased down and brushed back along for Gudas yet again. Knifed away, though, and taken by Andrew Shaw. Shaw dragged it around and is able to play to Hjalmarsson. Hjalmarsson working behind. Closed off momentarily by Voracek and centered one that stiffly went off Giroux, who was busy defending Desjardins. Walked right back out in front by Gudas and popped back ahead as far as center for the slug back in by Raffl and the stop by Crawford. Fire wagon change here early in the first period. Sure glad you've joined us on Wednesday night rivalry from Philadelphia. The first big hit of the game. And this comes out to the outside where it is Ryan White throwing it across, and a drive is deflected away by Duncan Keith. Whipped back around again for a centering pass in front that careened back in on Crawford, who will hold.
Well, Nicholas Hjalmarsson wasn't able to get that puck cleanly out of the zone, and then a real quick play below the goal line. Bellemare to White ended up going off of Hjalmarsson, and Crawford's able to get a whistle.
Hjalmarsson, one of 6 guys on this team that has been around for all 3 of the championships. This fed to the back now to Del Zotto again, and a shot is blocked away by Van Riemsdyk and jammed on further. Doing that was Brandon Manning in his 25th NHL game tonight, 5th year in the Flyers organization. So he has seen the buses, and he likes the air here a little better. Around to take this one and play it further is Del Zotto, nicely able to pivot away. Shook it back across for the outlet pass that is kicked aside by Vandervelde and carried back on by Bellemare and flung wide of Crawford and the cage. Drubbed back along again for a twisting pass in front that's directed away. Alertly on defense was Patrick Kane, and this one knifed back in where it can be chased down, and Trevor Daley takes over. Daley learning the role with Blackhawks on defense here now as the number of games as a Blackhawk continue to go higher a little bit. Taken along now by Teravainen, a shot is waffled away to the corner, and a good stop made there by Neuberg.
Yeah, after being in Dallas for 12 years, first time out of the new organization, learning the players, learning the lingo, learning the system. Been a work in progress, but Trevor Daley's a guy that can certainly defend, create offense, and skate his team out of trouble.
Had a career year last year, 16 goals, so he knows how to light the lamp from the back end.
This one directed back in, and Crawford throws it along. 6'8" Victor Svedberg played that one along, came back the other way. Anybody that height always interests me. Part of it is being 5'7". Rolled right back in again, and after this now is Taves, and Taves pivots. Threw one around in front that's guided away by Gudas, and can be shuffled on further for the take by Matt Reed. Bemidji State, Minnesota product, threw that one back in. Tipped back away, and a good reach there by Van Riemsdyk. Meanwhile, battled for further, and it careened on back down to Simmons for a shot that is geared away and out of play by Crawford. 4:01 gone here in the first.
Well, one thing that's a little different from opening night, Teuvo Teravainen is now playing on center rather than the wing with Jonathan Taves. And one of the things they like about it, and I know Eddie can talk about it, how comfortable he is in open ice, coming off the wall, beating Sam Gagner to the net, and putting that puck on goal, Eddie.
Yeah, more room to roam if you're a center iceman. I mean, obviously a much different type of game responsibility. You're playing a full 200-foot game instead of a 140-foot game. But Pierre talked about Kruger on the fourth line. You got a guy like Teravainen who has top two-line skill without question playing on your third line.
Some thumpers out there for the Flyers who have a history of that. This one is chipped back out to center. Rattled on around now for Duncan Keith. The Blackhawks are the least penalized team in the early days of the NHL's 99th season, and so the stats often are skewed that way, but they're averaging just over 3 minutes a game. The Flyers are a little more Flyer-like. They're up to 15 minutes and fourth most in the NHL. This one is trickled back down the ice, and it will go for an icing. Watch every NHL game live online, on mobile, tablet, and now on connected TVs with NBC Sports Live Extra. Download the app or go to NBCSports.com/Live Extra and watch the biggest events anytime, anywhere.
Big bounce-back game for the Flyers, winning 1-0 the other night. Michael Neuvert with the shutout, and that was after getting thumped down in South Florida, 7-1 to the Panthers.
Team meeting after the second game of the season.
No coaches either. That's a different one.
Onto the back it comes. Drive by Seabrook. His stick fails him. It's pushed back out, but dug out at center and handed back across again by Anisimov. This one tipped right back in. Out there with Panarin. Panarin, just as mentioned earlier, just learning English, and Anisimov, his countryman, is his translator. This one lifted off the glass and back out. Pierre eavesdropped on one of those translating conversations a week ago tonight in Chicago. Meanwhile, this battled for by Raffl falls down but shuffleboards it along. Pitched back by Voracek. Raffl turned along off of Teravainen. Raffl fed it to the back. Schultz is there. Shot one that ricocheted across. Whacked on further by Bickle. Kept alive by Streit. Off a stray stick. Hoisted back out again to center ice by Svedberg. And then taken back on by Bickle, and a shot that is snapped up and held by Neuvert.
That was a good job by Michael Raffl in the offensive zone to get the puck back to the point. And anytime that you can win those board battles and you get an opportunity to play with Claude Giroux and Jake Voracek, certainly Michael Raffl knows what his role is to make sure that you're getting in there, getting in those dirty areas, get the puck to those guys and get some net front presence. But Raffl showed his skill level and his ability to be able to read the play by getting the puck back to the point.
Speaking of playing with people, Raffl's brother just signed with Winnipeg in the National Hockey League. Doc is a 29-year-old.
There's always a chance, isn't there? With the Manitoba Moose now as the big left winger.
General manager of the Winnipeg Jets is in attendance tonight. Got a scheduled day off.
He knows a little about Chicago, Eddie.
Spent a few years there with the Chicago Wolves of the American Hockey League and also on the front office staff for the Blackhawks, the assistant general manager.
That one is covered. One of my favorite jerseys because of the green eyes in that wolf. No score here in Philly. First period of play. School class ring, maybe? Might have been a little different than these. Now, that one on the right is the most recent. 355 diamonds, 10.8 carats on 14-carat white gold, and 1 gold. The symbol of the 3 championships is engraved on the inside, and they are heavy. A heavy pass by Simmons goes down for an icing.
Well, great pregame ceremony honoring Kimmo Timonen, and on that video tribute, They slipped in a couple of the pictures in the Blackhawks uniform holding up the Stanley Cup, so a real classy move by the Flyers, and just a great recognition here by the Flyers and the hometown fans for Kimmo Timonen.
Still amazing when you think about it. 5 Olympic Games representing Finland. What a record. What a distinguished international record for Kimmo Timonen.
Nice swagger there by Streit. Rolled it around for Simmons behind. Simmons fed one out front. Oh, and sinking the shot was Couturier, and so Crawford could handle.
That was a rolling puck, Eddie, and you know how hard it is to settle pucks down, especially early on in the season when maybe your timing's not 100%. Sean Couturier, back-to-back years with a huge point getter for Drummondville in the Quebec Major Junior League, Eddie.
Well, there's Couturier in the nice, perfect position offensively, but defensively as well. And here touched on that puck on edge with good work down low by Schenn and by Simmons. They found a hole, they found a passing lane, but just not able to get a whole heck of a lot on that shot.
Here's Hjalmarsson flipping one that careened on out. Hjalmarsson, one of those guys with 3 Stanley Cup rings. Undoubtedly in the house safe or at a bank somewhere. Brought on by Van de Velde, chased down by Shaw. Van de Velde met there by Svedberg and around to Turl. And pitched on out to center. Gudas, second-generation hockey player. His father, Leo, played on what was then called the Czechoslovakia Olympic team in 1992 in Albertville, France. Centering pass is set aside and then can be played on the outside. They try to work one to Giroux, but that's blocked off by the prominent reach of Svedberg, and is whacked away and trying to retrieve his Kane, and he came up with it. Kane being booed here by the Flyers fans. And then it is kept alive by Keith and stolen right away by Voracek. Voracek crosses over, flips one across. Giroux had it knifed away and back to center. And wheeled right back along by Delzato for Duncan Keith. Averaged over 31 minutes of playing time in the playoffs. And some of that was extra time, second and third overtime games leading the Blackhawks to victory. Shoved off is Hjalmarsson, but while falling, pushed it to Crawford. Back over to Keith again, and then that one directed on out to center, pushed across, and is overskated by Voracek. Hjalmarsson fed it ahead. Teravainen walks across. Teravainen a shot that slipped through, but only as far as Tikhonov, who is then checked off. Kicked on back to Delzato, roughed up by Tikhonov, played on now to Streit, led it back ahead, and it is sent back out by Raffl. Teravainen led it back across. Pushed back over, away from the reach of Tikhonov, and presumably from his grandfather as well. Played back ahead now to center and settled down, but then lost. Pushed back by Van Riemsdyk, can be carried on by Streit, who's hooked down, and there will be a penalty coming up. The first minor of the game belongs to the least penalized team in the league, the Blackhawks, and it's Teravainen who will go.
A lot of bouncing pucks here for both teams, and Joel Quenneville will see this. You see Teuvo Teravainen just reach in on Mark Streit, but bouncing pucks at both ends of the ice really affecting scoring opportunities right now, Eddie.
It's one of those plays for Teravainen with 2 hands on the stick. Better off to get 1 hand on the stick and try to... You're going to gain a lot more room there if you're reaching in with 1 stick, or with 1 hand on the stick, and you got 2 caught in, and a very good power play with an opportunity.
Power play is sponsored by Sears. They hold, and it's given across to Giroux. Giroux to the back once more. Held by Streit, fed across, and battling at the front. Simmons, who had 14 of his 28 goals on the power play last year, is positioned there with a tripod move, 17 in orange in front of Crawford. Delayed to the outside, led on to the back. Streit there, fakes the drive. Giroux a drive. Oh, the bite! Came that close. It's Voracek with it. Threw one in front. It was off Simmons, sticking wide. Power play with some looks so far, as the coaches say. Pushed on through now for Kruger. Dives, and he flicked it back out to center in a good defensive move. Nearing the halfway point of the first period, Voracek worms his way right back in. Fed on a cross off of Raffl, and then punched away and having to gallop back for it as Streit. Pursued there by Taves, pushed it on through, and marching on, Raffl got it to Simmons. Toe drag and a feet across. Oh, they tried to play one in front, and a good reach there by Seabrook, and so back up with it is Jonathan Taves. Taves accelerates, puts on the brakes, holds and shot it just wide.
Seabrook was screaming at the top of his lungs, "Taser, Taser, I'm coming." Cage probably couldn't hear him.
And on back now for Brayden Schenn, away from the reach of Hossa. 9 3/4 minutes to go in the first, and just a half minute to go on the power play as of now. Svedberg's reach chopped it back out, and it ricocheted out of play.
Well, the puck movement by the Flyers creates that quality chance. First off, the puck is going to end up being moved there. And then watch what ends up happening and watch positioning of Claude Giroux. Fake shot by Streit. There's the screen in front of the net. No chance for Crawford, but this pass is right in the wheelhouse and nothing but iron.
There's probably a man sitting at home watching that right now, the recently retired Danny Briere. He used to work on that shot all the time with Claude Giroux, right from that position on the ice. And Briere didn't miss very often from there.
Little toss is grabbed off, though, before it could come to the front where Crawford was anticipating. And this one is stashed back out in the last dozen seconds of the power play. Flyers power play in the early part of this year, just 3 games played, 2 for 10. But had some looks early in this one. Walked back ahead for a stash behind the net that ricochets on now to Schenn. Fires it back around again. Couturier rustled it free. Penalty time is up. Whacked at there and turning with Schenn, but it was knifed away in a good reach. Can be played on further and kept there by Medvedev, and that one is just guided wide by Brayden Schenn. Ricocheted free to be curled to the outside by Schenn, taken by Sam Gagner, and Gagner just delays further. Hands on back now for Manning's pass. Ricochet. Another shot is held there by Crawford. Penalty box is empty, and so far the scoreboard is as well. 8:37 to go in the first period in Philly.
Players move up, coaches move up. What's it like being a coach in the National Hockey League?
Well, it's been a great challenge, but I got so many good people around me here in Philadelphia that it's been a great transition.
What's been your message to your players trying to develop your own culture here?
Well, it all starts with, it's about us playing the way we want to play and having confidence in the way we play every shift, every night.
And what way is that?
Well, we want to be a smart team that plays aggressively in all 3 zones. You got to check well. You got to try to play quick and take what the game gives you at times.
Thanks for doing this, Dave. We'll see you down the road.
Thank you.
Hey, pop quiz, Eddie. You mentioned the Sioux City Musketeers. What are their colors?
Green, white, and a little bit of yellow.
You're all over it.
Insider trading.
Peeled off to the outside now, and jostled off was Belmar. Poked away, though, and a good reach by Van Riemsdyk. Daly tried to connect ahead. Trying to fight his way through was Teravainen, stumbled free at center. It is followed up by Trevor Daly, and a pass that is errant for Taves. So Schultz pivots around behind, directed right back up the wing, can be sent back across, but Seabrook soccered it along, and then it bounces back near him again, trying to control and pushes it out of harm's way. Under 8 minutes to go, first period. The shots are 5-3 Flyers. None have gone in. One has caught the right post.
Last shot for the Flyers. They had no fault line out there against the Taves line.
Well, here comes Giroux. Fed it across crisply onto Voracek. Voracek matched there by Seabrook. Seabrook able to emerge with it and throw a pass that goes away from Kane and back down the ice.
Well, that interview with Pierre and Coach Dave Hackstall coming from the University of North Dakota, but we mentioned the USHL. How about the USHL not only developing players for the next level, college and National Hockey League, but now coaches. We mentioned Dave Hackstall was in Sioux City with the Musketeers. You had John Cooper, who coached in Green Bay with the Gamblers, now the head coach of Tampa Bay Lightning. And now Jeff Blashill, head coach with the Detroit Red Wings, was with the Indianapolis Ice of the USHL. So not only a great breeding ground for players, but as well as coaches coming out of that league, and obviously with a lot of stops before and after, but I think it speaks volumes to what the National Hockey League and people that make those types of decisions think about the USHL.
Wasn't always that way, was
No,
it?
it was not. For players or coaches.
Here's Kane giving one on to Panarin. Panarin flipped one off the stick. Kane fed it front on, and great save is made by Neuvirth. 10 Bell save, that time on Anissimo. And it is floated back out. Hjalmarsson will chase it down. No icing on the play. Under 7 minutes to go, first period. Kept there by Gagner. Tried to walk it back in. Dropped it off for Medvedev. And around it is sent further. Medvedev is the first Flyer to wear number 82. This one kept alive now and nudged back across. The same number he wore for the Russian Olympic team in Sochi. Around this goes, and Tikhonov sent a shot that went just wide. Sent back to the point, and a drive is deflected just wide. Is getting position in front was Tikhonov.
Good low shot there from Trevor Van Riemsdyk.
One of the strengths of Tikhonov's game, hockey sense, very aware in all situations.
This one ricocheted on a cross and is sent on back by Medvedev, taken by Gudas. Ricocheted off of Matt Reed, overskated by a couple, tumbling down is Shaw. And we get a penalty coming up. It's against a Flyer. It is Gudas. It's a power play for the Blackhawks when we come back to Philadelphia.
Welcome back to Wednesday night rivalry. Andrew Shaw tries to make a play on the puck, doesn't have the puck anywhere near him. Radko Gudas steps up on him. You can see why interference was called by Garrett Rank, the young official who's a trail official in that situation, Eddie.
Watch the skill here of Artemi Panarin. Goes right around Claude Giroux. Little give and go with Patrick Kane, and then a quality chance for Artem Anisimov. Good save there from Michael Neuvirth.
Power play for the Blackhawks, 2 for 11 in the early stages of this season, as this is sent back out to center where Keith will retrieve. He and Taves and Kane and Panarin and Hossa. Keith lods it ahead, and it is carried on by Kane, accompanied by the booing, walked on by Hossa. Gets things set. Led to the back now to Duncan Keith, walks it across. Hossa yet again. Gives on over to Kane. Fed one on, a shot by Panarin. Ricocheted off the glass. Panarin digging for that. A penalty coming up. This will be against the Blackhawks, as tumbling down was Belmar.
Now, second time in this game that the young official, Garrett Rank, makes a call. This time it's on Jonathan Taves. He's going to call him for a hook. Down in the corner, Jonathan Taves hooks right into the body. Official right there on the spot. Pierre-Edouard Bellemare goes down.
So 4 against 4. From the face-off win. Pushed ahead but kept alive now by Streit. Seabrook gets a little help from Crawford as it's punched to him. Seabrook fed it to Anisimov and then on across for Teravainen. Drop back off to Keith, but it winds up being an offside. Whenever we refer to Viktor Tikhonov, who wears number 14, we always are thinking of his grandfather, who passed away last November, the legendary coach of the Soviet Union teams and of the unified team, which won in 1992. It was his last bit of Olympic gold at a time when the Soviet Union and later the unified team was dominant in international hockey. And his grandson here, wearing number 14 for the Chicago Blackhawks. This walked on ahead and stashed back in deep and rattled on around to Duncan Keith. A stern taskmaster would be one way to describe Victor. Thrown in front, and that ricocheted off the stick. Ricocheted wide off the stick of Ryan White. Meanwhile, it drifted on back now for Teravainen to play.
There's a coach out there that coached both of these teams at different times. That is probably very similar to the late
Mr. Keenan? Is that who you're speaking of, Ed?
Absolutely.
It is held by Kane. Across. Daly a shot. It's blocked away by Gagne. Knife back further and can be brought back around now by Panarin. Panarin hands it back on to Van Riemsdyk. Gives it on to Kane, and Kane walks it on across. Deals it on over for Panarin. Dropped off Van Riemsdyk. Looked like he could have it teed up. Meanwhile, there's some jostling at the front. Kane was in a bit of a tangle there with Neuvirth. Hooked in front by Kane. Played along by Panarin. And then Kane with a shot fought off by Neuvirth. 25 seconds left to go on the penalty to Jonathan Taves. Flyers are on a power play.
Good stop there from Neuvirth. Kane walked out of the corner. I think he was shocked that there was nobody there after a good play by Panarin. And a good glove save.
Walk back along again for the nudge back over to Raffl. Fed one further. Simmons got tangled up. Emerged with it. pushed it on, got some help from Giroux. Back to Streit. Streit back to Giroux once more with Simmons in front. Drifts and gives to Simmons. Tried to play in front. It's pushed on goal. And a save made by Crawford. Then on to Giroux. To the back. Straight a drive. Blocked away by Taves. Another shot by Voracek. And that one tipped up high. Scramble for it around behind. Came back over to Giroux. Led it onto the back again. Kept by Streit. Led back over. Quick pass. Giroux in the slot with a shot that's blocked away by Hjalmarsson. And out of play it goes. And the penalty box is empty.
3 huge blocks. One by Taves, one by Keith, and that one by Hjalmarsson. Doesn't matter how you block it, whether it's with your body or your stick. Couple of great chances, great moves, great movement by the Flyers. There you see the battle in front of the net with Hjalmarsson and Simmons. Crawford with a slash on Simmons, a little bit of a push as well. But some incredible opportunities denied because of the shot blocking ability by the visitors.
Yeah, Simmons wasn't an angel in that sequence either. He got Crawford with his stick just before Crawford got him. But what great big body hockey by both teams.
Braden Shen steps in here on Taves for the draw. Dragged around further by Voracek. Sent on back to the point. Gudas had to settle it down, but back at center, and it's pushed on through where Seabrook can take it in the last 2 3/4 minutes of this first period. Off of Taves, it goes back in. Neuberg to settle it down there. Worked back on by Medvedev, connects back on to Voracek, moves up with Braden Shen. And a shot, a save, rebound, another save made by Crawford. Wow. The goaltenders have been sound, as reflected by the scoreless board, but 8 shots by the Flyers and 5 by the Blackhawks, and some really good chances are being shut down here.
Love Jonathan Taves just came off the edge and said, boys, we got to wake up in transition defense. We got to be better than that in front of our goalie. Great leadership.
Flung by Van Riemsdyk, taken over and filtered back by Manning, pushed right onto the stick of Kane, though. Kane delays and gives to Van Riemsdyk to Kane, and that one is blocked around high in front. Sent back behind the net. In game number 4, Kane with 3 goals, 3 assists. One of the scoring leaders in the league, Henrik Zetterberg of Detroit, has the most points with 7. Kane and Max Pacioretty are second with 6. Sent back over for Delzato with 90 to go in the period. And then Streit. Swiss-born defenseman. Sees this ricocheting back in by Van de Velde. Cracked off the glass. Rode the rail a bit before it got to Keith, who is rubbed out, but got it to Hjalmarsson. Then back on to Tikhonov. Tikhonov tried to push it ahead. No luck, but battled further. And an offside is called.
Boy, Patrick Kane's had some great quality scoring chances, Eddie, to squeeze one off on goal.
Well, he got this one because of the giveaway by Chris Van de Velde. He has his puck, tries to throw back to the point, and he puts it right on the tape of Patrick Kane, and now Trevor Van Riemsdyk's going to jump in, move the puck, move yourself, and then good recovery there by Brandon Manning to take away that chance for Patrick Kane. But late in the period, better off to keep that puck on the boards, stop and turn, be safe. Less is more in that situation if you're Van de Velde.
Giroux could get only as far as Hjalmarsson. Advanced back by Shaw, lugged back in again by Kruger, and sent over to Shaw. Jammed it behind in the traffic, but can be rescued there and pushed back on a reverb to center ice off of Raffl. It's a silent Raffl. Back on now to Shaw, and he sees that one snapped up there by Neuberg.
Eddie and Doc, we talk about the value of depth players. Watch Marcus Kruger get on his horse against Claude Giroux. He runs him out of racetrack and basically forces that turnover to Nicholas Hjalmarsson, and then it's a quick counterattack. Can't say enough good things about Marcus Kruger. We talked about him a lot last year, and again, it carries over. I know he was a late signing, but boy, oh boy, the Hawks are fortunate to have a player that good in the number 4 hole at center.
Yeah, he missed a lot of training camp because he had visa issues. But again, the Discover card.
Oh, my.
Eddie.
Braden Shen walked ahead by Couturier. Oblivious to the credit situation being discussed. Across it bounces now, and Simmons couldn't find the handle to let a good shot go. So it's Panarin starting it back in the last 10 of the period. Pushed back in by Kane, who is buried by Gudas. Running a roar from the crowd, and then Jonathan Toews rubs out Delzato.
Duncan Keith gave Gudas a nice little whack with his stick. So the energy levels are being accelerated here pretty quick.
And that is an interesting period one. Chances were 4-4, shots were 8-6 Flyers. Liam McHugh and NHL insider Bob McKenzie coming up on the Lexus Intermission Report. Are the Flyers contending or rebuilding? And the Blue Jackets looking for their first win against Ottawa. Two very important guys in the life of Kimmo Timonen. Claude Giroux and Jonathan Toews there for his ceremonial face-off. No score after one. Hey, Philadelphia, let's turn back the hands of time, though, and see Steve Larmer, 15 years, 101 points on right wing in one season, still a Blackhawks record. He played over a decade without missing a game in Chicago. Paul Holmgren, 10 years, 144 goals, 179 assists, 323 points. Why are we showing, oh, I see, 1,684 minutes in penalties in 10 years. The president of the Flyers, and was a tough guy to play against.
I don't think he did that for the late Herb Brooks at the University of Minnesota, though, Doc. Did he?
I think you were ejected from the game, and then you were probably ejected from the next one if you did that. But he learned how to do that pretty well on a line with Brian Propp and Ken Lintzman here in Philadelphia, full of orneriness. As this is taken by 17 in orange, not Paul Holmgren, but instead thrown on by Simmons, carried on by Toews, and Toews whirls around and stanks one right at the line. It was shut off as doing the scissor was Neuvirth. Chopped on now, and here's Hossa back to his feet as Neuvirth does not have his goal stick. To the back it comes Seabrook, fires, it went wide, struck the back of the cage. Schultz is there, kept alive by Hossa. Hossa around behind, still without a goal stick is Neuvirth. To the back it comes for Seabrook, then along to Hossa. Handed on across once again for Duncan Keith. Shuttles it over to Hossa. Kick to control, and Schultz interceded, but Hossa persisted. Now Hossa in front, can't get the shot away. Simmons was able to get his stick down. Speaking of sticks, Neuvirth can't find his. Where is it?
He just found it, Doc. He knows it's in that right wing corner.
On a break for the Flyers, they had a lot of tired hombres on the ice, but an icing call as Chicago was reloading with fresh legs. Now the Flyers can change, and Chicago, well, those guys are fresh.
Well, what a power move by Jonathan Toews, and a great stop by Michael Neuvirth. Looked like Toews going to shoot the puck, and then Toews decides to wrap around and watch the left leg right there. The stick ends up getting knocked out of the hands of Neuvirth by Schultz, his own defenseman.
Oh, a kick save and a wonderful stop made by Crawford at the other end. A goaltending exhibition is developing further. Dropping back now is Hjalmarsson. Tried to play one on. It popped across to be sent further for Duncan Keith. Laid back over to Hjalmarsson. Looked for Shaw. Hoped for him. And it went off both he and Medvedev. And then is kicked along by Desjardins. Desjardins went down. Medvedev sort of leering over him. Meanwhile, at the half boards, the battle again. Medvedev able to push it back across. And it's dropped back off for the carry on. Away from Shaw. Handed across for the play back in again by Vanderbilt. So now the Blackhawks in their own end of the ice in a scoreless game. 22 minutes have been played out of the 60 as it's carried ahead now by Kane. Flyers fans remember to boo. Across now for Panarin, and a shot off the glove of Neuvirth and wide. Pop back on again now to Kane. Kane slugged it to the back. Daly fires, and that one blocked around in front and corralled nicely and shoveled right back to Daly again, as hoping to make a good play, but failing to follow through was Raffl.
Raffl took that shot from Daly and went right to the bench as soon as that puck was cleared.
Voracek nudged it on. Giroux able to swing it back in. It's stopped by Crawford. Pushed it right on the turning stick of Anisimov. Long toss ahead. Panarin had to settle it down and brushed it ahead to Kane in stride. Anisimov there, and his shot blocked away by Schultz. Fed back around, and Kane had it whacked away further. Panarin led it onto the back, and Seabrook could not handle that.
Nice job there for Anisimov there. Let that puck go, hoping it was going to get to a wide open Seabrook. Unfortunately for the Hawks and Seabrook, Puck went outside the zone.
How about how the play started, Eddie? What a play by Corey Crawford. Heads up play with the puck in the middle of the ice.
Goalies have been tremendous. Punched on now by Svedberg. Whacked away by Strider. It might have been Bickle alone. Then right back the other way they bring it. Carried back on by Lawton. Forced off his stick and it went wide. Then he stepped into his man, following through on Svedberg. Brought right back by Teravainen, and his shot was well wide. Away from Matt Reed, punched back by Hjalmarsson. Read there by Sam Gagner and fed back ahead to Reed. Gives it on a cross, and it's Lawton walking on with it. Lawton's shot is backhand grabbed by Crawford, and enough is enough.
Well, great end-to-end action. We talked about Artemi Panarin. The skill level, the opportunity, and the save by Michael Neuvert.
Speaking about goaltenders and saves, how about puck movement? Corey Crawford through the middle of the ice to Artemi Anisimov. The long stretch pass to Panarin. Keep the play alive. Move it to Kane. Cross and drop with Anisimov. And there's a good shot block by Nick Schultz. But all created by Corey Crawford and his awareness.
I wonder if goalies will become even better at stick handling because they'll have to with the 3-on-3 overtime. There have been 3 games settled in the sudden death overtime and 2 that have gone to shootout this year. 5 out of 45 extra time.
I'll tell you one guy that'll be really good at it, Carey Price, because he can skate as well as a lot of defensemen in the league.
It is outletted then to Svedberg, but off of Taves' stick, and Manning hands it over.
Did Antti Niemi have 2 assists in a game earlier in the season?
He did, Eddie.
A shutout and 2 assists.
Yes.
He's got bragging rights with half the team.
And Ryan Garbett just got Braden Shen. And the Chicago Blackhawk bench is saying, wait a second, his own guy got him. Duncan Keith going over to see the official right now, Eric Furlad. And let's see. It looked like Garbett's stick. Yeah, it was. But the Hawks thought that was Simmons' stick that came up and got him.
So Garbett sits in the box. Recently passed 200 NHL games, and not without sacrifice through the years, Ryan Garbett. This one where Duncan Keith will take it, and apparently that's a legal face-off, and so he blasted back down. Looked odd, didn't it?
Yeah, Claude Giroux is not happy with that at all.
Fed back ahead and roaring on Voracek. Hands it on a cross. Fed back off of him, but he recovered and filtered it back for Raffl. Raffl sped it off of Giroux along now to Voracek. Wheels to the outside does Voracek and slams it back around on the back end. Simmons guides it up the boards. Taken by Giroux, the Flyers captain, and this one is sailed back out again on the retrieval of Kruger. Well, Eddie, you said Voracek was going to be a top 10 scorer. And like you picked the horses, you were right. He finished tied with Ovechkin for 4th.
He's playing with just a boatload of confidence, more opportunity here in Philadelphia. And a great combination when you're playing with an outstanding center iceman like Claude Giroux.
Eddie and Doc, how's the dress rehearsal going for Victor Svedberg? We heard Bob McKenzie talking about him. Eddie, you talked about him. How's he look so far tonight?
I think when you don't notice a guy, that's probably a good thing, Pierre. And I think for him, it's just keeping it simple. Joe Quenneville likes what he's seen so far. He did not play in game 1 to start the season, but he's got a good opportunity here in the last 3.
Likes his reach.
Yeah, I was going to say, how do you miss a guy with that reach?
Del Zotto gives it over. Gagner, a shot. First in Philly.
Well, Svedberg hits the deck, and then Sam Gagner moves the puck back to the point. Michael Del Zotto moves laterally. The big screen in front of the net, and not sure if that went off of Sean Couturier or not. But the simple shot, get the puck to the net, and that puck, goes clearly in off the stick of Sam Gagner.
And it's a double screen. There's no way that Corey Crawford can see that puck. He had Andrew Desjardins and Svedberg right in his face.
Sure, his dad is awfully happy to see him score his first goal as a Flyer. He's in attendance. Dave Gagner, a longtime National Hockey Leaguer, is in attendance tonight to watch his son.
Sped back in again. At 5:35 of the second period, the first goal is scored. Del Zotto and Braden Shen came up with the assist. Fed away from Panarin off of Manning and sailed up high and into the mesh, and so play is stopped. Took a while. We do have one that's gone in. One off the post earlier did not count, but this one certainly did from Sam Gagner. Watch every out-of-market game live from around the league on your favorite connected devices with NHL Game Center Live. Visit NHL.com/GCL for details. Trevor Daley. Nick Schultz. Sean Couturier. Trevor Van Riemsdyk over to Trevor Daley, and it's bashed back in. Rattled right on goal and a stop rebound. Oh, it's up over the top of the net from Teravainen.
That's a play by Neuvirth, staying in the net with that shot up in the glass. If he goes for that puck around the glass, the puck's into a wide open net. That's a play there by Neuvirth.
Schultz with a very good block, and so back down it goes, and Daley can take over. 6:45 gone, second period of play. Gagner from Del Zotto and Braden Shen at 5:35, the only scoring play. Hossa able to drag it ahead. Hossa with a shot blocked off by Stripe. Rebound at the side of the net. Coming across but not having puck possession, and watching this develop for Panarin, who sent one skying off the glass. Earlier it was Anisimov who was gliding across the crease, and he's got it now, and a shot saved. It's made by Neuvirth, and it can be played ahead and then curled back out of harm's way by Claude Giroux. Work back across for Giroux again. He and Duncan Keith go to the boards. Sent right back to the slot, and it went away from a pair of players, one aside. And it's Medvedev drilling it back off a stick. Nicely worked there by Hjalmarsson. Tumbling down was Raffl, comes to the bench immediately. And it is Gagner, or check that, Giroux flinging it ahead, carried on by Voracek. Voracek in a lot of traffic, strong shot on goal, whacked at a couple of times, could not be pushed home by Van de Velde.
Oh, a breakdown defensively for the Blackhawks. It's a simple 2-on-2, and next thing you know, the play by Voracek, and Van de Velde standing right in front of Corey Crawford all by himself.
Two good whacks at it. And so if the score changes in Chicago's favor, Eddie and Pierre will always emphasize, remember that one. The Let's Go Flyers chant, nearly 50 years old, resumes. Shaw turning with it there, jostled out of the play by Del Zotto. Flyers fans cheer the one-time Ranger because it was one time and not now. Striding ahead with it is Lawton. Lawton pushed it on, trying to fight his way in. Save made by Crawford. Rebound, and Crawford covers. An arm is out. A penalty will take place.
Boy, great effort by Scott Lawton.
Shaw has dropped the gloves and the stick.
It's a smart play there by Lawton. He knows his team is going to get a power play, but he gets inside position there on Brent Seabrook. Seabrook does a good job there initially of really preventing a quality chance there, and then Tikhonov takes down Matt Reed. I mean, that's the penalty, is on Tikhonov. And Corey Crawford again, sorry, Pierre, another quality chance and another real good stop by Crawford.
And it's a good thing Tikhonov did that. Sometimes there are good penalties, and that's a good one, because if he doesn't, I think that puck's at the back of the net. But you're absolutely right about Scott Lawton, Eddie. What a smart read and play by Lawton to go through Svedberg and Seabrook.
It's good to see Matt Reed healthy again. Was hampered by a bad ankle for the majority of the season last year, and in talking to him this morning, took some time off the start of the summer, and Ron Hextall talking to him earlier, the general manager of the Flyers, was talking about how Reed is healthy and moving like he had the last couple of years.
Oh, what a save by Crawford. Another save. Scrambled in front there. And Crawford holds everything. My.
What a performance by Corey Crawford. It saves galore. Upper body, lower body. This time it's a couple lower body saves for Corey Crawford. Square to shooters. Look at him digest the information. His mind's like a supercomputer. There's one lower body save and a second and a third and a fourth. What a job by Crawford.
Streit sets it up again for Giroux, and Streit with a shot hit someone in front, poked along by diving Hjalmarsson, and lugged on by Desjardins. Voracek able to filter it behind. Peeling off is Raffl. 3 shots this period for the Blackhawks and 7 for the Flyers, and some great quality. Out to get it, Crawford. Pushed it along. Shanked down, though, by Raffl and scaled on around, and Voracek waits. Pushed one off Raffl's seemingly high stick, but not called. That ahead now is Hossa on a breakaway. Save! Made! Neuvirth in goal! And right back on this power play with 1 minute, 2 seconds to go in it. The Flyers foisted away then by Crawford. Off of Seabrook, gotten by Simmons, fed across through Voracek, plays it on the bounce. Ladles it back behind. Along near Simmons again. Simmons delays, couldn't get it to the back because of Taves. Sent on back to Streit, across to Voracek. And that one is blocked on by Svedberg, cleared by Taves. And 40 left on the penalty kill for Chicago. Isn't this great? This is a good game.
Big time stop there from Neuvirth on Hossa.
Gagne popped one high, shrugged down there by Kruger. And Kruger delays and drops it back in. Medvedev takes over there. Kruger comes to the bench for a rest here in the last 15 of the penalty kill for his team. Swept right back out again by Hjalmarsson, and this one goes back down the ice. Kruger getting a rest. A lot to live up to, wearing Eddie Olczyk's old 16 and that of Bobby Hull originally. Brought back on now for Gagne, on across further. It is sent on across now for Couturier, and that blocked off by Daly. Couturier again. Hoisted there by Medvedev. It skipped to the corner. Braden Shen touches, and it had been played by a high stick. Penalty box is empty. And the Chicago side of the board is empty too. Hossa is deadly, but more that time was Neuvirth.
Your team hadn't scored yet. You only have 9 shots on goal. Is it something they're doing to you?
We've been shorthanded 4 times more than we have been in 3 games prior to this. Standing still too much. We got to get some action in their own head, but we're too deliberate, too predictable.
When you look at a big defenseman like Victor Svedberg, we talk about how you're looking to see how efficient he can be. Has he been efficient so far tonight?
Yeah, he's all right. Made a good heads-up play to Hossa on the breakaway there. You know, the shot going through on a penalty kill is sometimes they hit you, but positionally aware, long reach, I think he'll get better.
Thanks very much, Coach.
You betcha.
Here is Anisimov dropping one back on through, and then Manning was given a little bit of a forearm shiver that was caught by the referee. Panarin will get penalized, and this one is touched.
Now the coach for Chicago are not happy with the penalties. This is number 5.
Yeah, it's the right call on the ice.
Yep.
This puck takes a funny bounce along the boards, and Artemi Panarin, instead of going for the puck, decides to throw a flying elbow right there. And Manning takes the brunt of it, so an opportunity for the Flyers with the man advantage.
Flyers coming off a 1-0 victory on Monday here against the Florida Panthers. It was Neuvirth in goal there. Steve Mason did practice with the team, personal reasons that he had to miss the opening game here on Monday, and will not be back in the lineup right away. We're not certain whether that will be with the next game, but certainly not for tonight. They said he will not be playing in this contest tonight. This one kicked around behind. Off the outside of the cage, swatted away by Hjalmarsson, pivoting and handing it on back to him now. Watching this go further, it comes on now to Duncan Keith, and Keith peeled to the outside and then was able to stash it back in with 40 seconds gone on the penalty to Panarin. Right back ahead, it's brought and handed over to Giroux. Claude Giroux drifting with it there. Rattled it around behind. Taves stepped to that one. Could not clear, though. Good anticipation by Voracek. Nudged across to a couple of Hawks. And the last one, Hossa cleared it back down.
Flyers not able to get anything going with this man advantage. Just couldn't get the puck off the boards, and Blackhawks recognizing that and putting a lot of pressure on.
Gagne filtered it over. 3/4 of a minute to go on this man advantage. Worked on back to him again, and then he hands back over to Del Zotto. That one tipped across. Kept by Sam Gagner, drifted around behind, turning with it is Couturier, back to Gagner, has Medvedev at the point, decides that's where I'll go. Then on a cross now to Del Zotto, and a direction in front, flopped up high and wide from Braden Shen.
Beautiful shot pass there from Del Zotto.
Medvedev at the back again. Gives it back to Gagner. Drive, and that one sizzled wide. Kicked on back. Nice keep there by Medvedev. And then right back in. It goes deeper where it's taken away. And then catching a stick up high was Svedberg. And there'll be a penalty coming up. At least a minor penalty against the Flyers.
Braden Shen is going to get it.
You got to get your stick up high to get that guy.
The signal is just 2.
There's Braden Shen's stick coming up. He tries to lift the stick of Svedberg. You see the bouncing puck. Eddie, you've alluded to it. And you see Shen just misses a stick, but gets Svedberg right in the face.
So, goalie in 5 against a goalie in 4. Power play, Chicago. Second of the night. Patrick Kane with a shot that is geared away by Neuberg and cleared off the short glass, and it hops back down.
Good play by Gudas. Won the foot race, used the glass. Cleared it down 200 feet.
Uses his body well, too. 6 feet, 204. Very compact. Kane gives over to Hossa now. He delays, has Panarin in the shooting lane with his stick drawn. Work back onto Kane. Led to the back, Hossa. On to Kane. Taves peels off, takes the pass. Tries to swagger to the front, no room. To the outside, then to Hossa. Back on for the feed to Kane. Here's Kane delaying with it now. Kane drifting further. Good watch there by Belmar for the Flyers. Taken on by Hossa, given to Taves. Turnaround move, and he couldn't shove it by. Hossa again. Then on to Panarin. Halfway through the power play. Keith hands it on to Kane, back to Keith once more. Let it back over. Panarin there. Then Keith once more. Shovels it over to Kane. Fires! Rang one off the pipe! Played back in deep yet again. Taken along now and filtered by Panarin to Kane. Then to the back to Keith. Gives it across, drive by Hossa, and that directed wide. Stepping in the way, Belmar. Able to pivot off and rattle one on around, and a shove into Taves. Executed by Neuberg in goal. 20 to go on the power play. I wasn't watching the byplay between the two of them. I don't know who was responsible. But there are hall monitors that usually deal with that, and they wear stripes. Along now it is dragged but left behind by Anisimov. Still they scrap for possession, twisted away near Teravainen, who still works, but it is cleared back down by Giroux, and so it kicks near Crawford. Menace by Lawton to played it on now to Daly. And so the penalty box, which has been active tonight, but for different reasons than traditional Flyer games, is empty again. Crawford steps out to play it, dropped it back onto Seabrook. Long toss, ricocheted off Shaw, and went back down and will be an icing.
Now Patrick Kane, everybody knows about his scoring, and right here he just loads it up. Uses Schultz as a screen and right off the right post.
Well, Patrick Kane gets an opportunity. He's going to get this puck off to the side of Michael Neuberg. Watch what happens. He just waits. Watch. He gets this puck. He's got a chance to take the puck to the net. There's lots of room there, but that slight hesitation allows the Flyers to get back in their rotation and keep the Blackhawks to the outside. But if you just take that puck to the net one time, all of a sudden now you get the respect of the penalty killers that they have to collapse and come down and try to defend a little bit differently.
Kane with 3 scoring chances tonight. May have heard a USA chant. 4 members. There's one that's knifed out of the air right near Crawford. Flyers trying to set up a play there. Mentioned some guests of the Flyers here tonight was the reason. We try to translate for you background noise from the crowd. Tumbling down with Seabrook, and coming to the bench is Belmar. Fed right back across. Nice move in. Ruffle a shot, and that blocked away by Seabrook. It rattled on around. Can be played further. Taken along by Ruffle. Score!
And you got some tired players on the ice. Quick little play by Voracek. The quick wraparound by Raffl. And then there's Claude Giroux that puts it in past Corey Crawford.
Yeah, there's just not enough white sweaters back because of that line change that you're alluding to, Eddie. And Claude Giroux taking advantage of the power move by Michael Raffl to make it 2-0 Philadelphia. Nice play all around by the Flyers.
Voracek did not have any points. He's got one now. Claude Giroux did not have any goals. He's got one now.
No hesitation at all by Raffl to wrap that puck around.
Offside is called with 3:22 to go in period number 2. You're watching Wednesday Night Rivalry from Philadelphia, presented by Coors Light, and the home team leads 2-0.
Blackhawks save to remember. Victor Svedberg on the long stretch pass to Marian Hossa. It's 1-0 at this time in the game, and Michael Neuvirth comes up large with the right side of his body. Instead of it being 1-1, it's now 2-0 Philadelphia due to the great save of Neuvirth.
Still applause here as a message from Kimmo Timonen to the fans was just played on the big board, and that's the reason for a lot of applause.
Yeah, not only from the fans, but the players on the benches as well.
Panarin fanned on the shot. Rolled back along, hoping to reach, but unable to, was Anisimov, and so it's dropped along on the turning stick of Kane by Hjalmarsson. Kane walks it ahead, dropped on back now for Panarin to return to him. Kane, a shot that's just snapped up out of the air by Neuvirth.
Well, let's take a look at some upcoming games. As of now, 2 undefeated teams on the NHL Network this Saturday. The Red Wings and the Canadiens. Then Tuesday, the Flyers will take on the Dallas Stars. And then next Wednesday night rivalry will be in Boston as the Flyers take on the Boston Bruins. Download the app or watch live online at NBCSports.com, live extra.
Eddie, you're talking about the United States Hockey League coaches and Jeff Blashill being one of them. What an array of artillery he has, led by Dylan Larkin, Justin Abdelkader, and Henrik Zetterberg. That line has been phenomenal to start the year for the Red Wings.
And mending in the bullpen, Pavel Datsyuk.
Tikhonov tried to shove one in front, leaned off there, but in traffic, Teravainen got it back to Seabrook, grubbed it around behind. Bickle tried to center one, but instead it's pushed right off the goal stick of Neuvirth, and a wonderful save by Neuvirth in all the traffic.
That was Tikhonov, Doc, that wrapped that puck around. Right-handed shot, came right around from our angle up high here in Philadelphia. It looked like the puck was labeled for that far side. Tremendous save.
Medvedev run off there and tangles with Tikhonov. And then while falling, Giroux tried to play it ahead. It's thrown in front now. Nice little handoff there and shunted wide by Bickle on a pass that was very alert from Tikhonov. Got in the way, stole it, walked right back ahead with it and curled. Tikhonov to the back. Daly with it there. Off a stick, but grubbed down by Teravainen. Walking on with it as Braden Shen hands it back out, and it can be controlled and stashed back in once again by Ryan White.
Best line, best shift for any line at even strength for the Blackhawks in the last little while. Bickle, Tikhonov, and Teravainen.
Teravainen got it across, and the shot by Hossa was blocked, and then Schultz is able to fling one back, and going back for that is Van Riemsdyk. 1:35 to go in the second period. Shots 22-15 in favor of the Flyers. They lead in the game 2-0, and Hossa will try to change that, but cannot. Simmons wanted to play further, pushed it away from Taves, regathered by Duncan Keith. Taves tapped it back to him, trying to work through the screen there, set up by the Flyers in neutral ice. It is Schultz firing it back around. Nudged ahead now, and it is Reed took a whack there from Panarin. Reed keeps going low. Reed with a shot blocked off, trying to cover was Crawford. Bounced away from him though, given around to Reed. Lost it though for Hjalmarsson, back up to Kane, and filtered through to center where it is hammered right back in, yet again by Voracek. Controlled back for a little tip along that came from Desjardins, and we get a toss that winds up being an offside. Let's take a look at Jonathan Taves and Claude Giroux in our players' profile with insights from SAP. Face-off percentage last year, and then the offensive zone face-off percentage for those two tremendous drawers in Claude Giroux and Jonathan Taves.
I would anticipate that those SAP numbers would go up Doc, considering the new rule changes with the faceoffs, that the defensive center iceman has to put their stick down first because it's much more advantageous to come in second on a faceoff. And try to use the analogy of track and field. We're running a 100-yard dash where the defensive centerman has to start from a standstill and the offensive centerman has to get the running start, and that's certainly an advantage that way. And that's the thought process of the rule change, which was brought to the National Hockey League by Hockey Hall of Famer, now general manager of the Carolina Hurricanes, Ron Francis.
All right, walk us through it right here.
Well, the defensive centerman has to put his stick down first, and there you see Nisimov has the ability to be able to and not come to a complete stop. The linesmen allow that to happen, and you have a much better opportunity to win it. Even though Nisimov did not win that faceoff, he'd much rather have an opportunity to so-called run and start on a faceoff.
Back down it goes in the last 17 of the period. Crawford gave it over to Seabrook, then it's fed back out to Kane up the wing there, dragged on by Panarin. Delays and feeds, and a shot by Svedberg was tipped wide. Around it came to Seabrook, through Kane, taken by Panarin again. Fed one around, who was hoping to get it to Anisimov, but that's the horn, and that is now 2 periods of play in Philadelphia. Liam, Mike, and Keith are coming up on the Discover Card Intermission Report. Is Chicago deep enough on defense is the question. And the Blue Jackets' slow start continues. In that period, 15 shots for the Flyers and 9 for Chicago. 2-period totals 23-15. It is the Flyers 2 and the Blackhawks nothing at the end of a pair.
Earlier today, National Hockey League Commissioner Gary Bettman and Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly presented a $950,000 check on behalf of the NHL Players Association to the Ed Snyder Youth Hockey Foundation for rink development and for its Hockey is for Everyone youth development program. The mission of Ed Snyder Youth Hockey Foundation is to build lives and unite communities. It uses the sport of hockey to help educate young people to succeed in the game of life. A great initiative by Mr. Snyder and the Philadelphia Flyers.
That's where the Flyers used to practice, right, Eddie and Doc? Class of 23 rinks.
Yes, years ago.
Yes.
Ed Snyder at his home in California, resting and recharging after recent medical therapy. Looks forward to returning to Philadelphia in several weeks. And word has it he likes the score so far at 2-0 in favor of the Orange. Here is Hjalmarsson with a pass directed in by Kane. Kane and Giroux lead in scoring chances with 3 apiece. There's a pass in front that sort of stalemated Del Zotto. He recovered fairly well, but it careened onto Kane, flicked it back in deep, and it's Anisimov behind. With Panarin in front, fed one for Keith, brushed away by Voracek, taken on by Anisimov, stashed back for the play around by Hjalmarsson, taken by Panarin. Panarin able to sidestep there and shake an attacker. That was Manning. Meanwhile, it is thrown by Panarin back to Hjalmarsson, fires, and that one ricochets back out again and shaken up on the play, and limping along is Michael Raffl. Nudged right back now to Kane. Here's Kane holding in traffic, delays further, drifting and handing it on back to Keith, fires, and that one wide, rebound, rejected by the goal crease as it ricocheted off of Panarin, and an empty net was there. And it wound up going underneath Neuberg.
Well, this all started because, as you picked up, Doc, the turnover by Claude Giroux to Michael Del Zotto from our Wendy's RoboCam. You see that opportunity, and it was Wayne Simmons that prevents Artemi Panarin from putting this puck into the wide open net.
New life for the Blackhawks here early in the third. They look to have something started at least, but you'd expect that with a 17-minute intermission and a lot of opportunity for the coaches to talk.
Line change for Chicago. Ryan Garbutt off the top line. Tikhonov on the top line for Chicago.
Well, he's been going well, Tikhonov has tonight, as you guys have pointed out earlier.
Well, that line with Tara Vinen and Bickle were good the second half of that second period. And now being down by 2 goals, Joel Quenneville, as he's known to do, is not afraid to change up the lines.
This is carried on now by Tikhonov. Tikhonov's shot directed wide and tumbling down Tikhonov and one of the referees. Meanwhile, it's Hossa twisting back at center. Fire wagon changes through all of the chaos at the Flyers bench. Daly tried to trickle it through, but was held off enough by Gudas that it could be turned back around and Flyer possession. Carried right back ahead and flung in by Belmar, wide of the cage. Right there to get it, though, and dip around behind was White. They try to jam it to the front of the net. No luck comes from that in the attempt of Vandevelde.
Penalty on Vandevelde for holding the stick of Trevor Van Riemsdyk.
Delayed call is on, and that one lost to the Flyers. And so the Blackhawks, trailing 2-0, having a little bit of life here early in the third, now get the power play.
Vandevelde played 4 years at North Dakota for Dave Hackstall. I don't think Dave will like this penalty at all. Good job by Trevor Van Riemsdyk trying to create some space, and there you see Vandevelde just hook onto the stick with his arm. Vandevelde played with a pretty good Chicago Blackhawk player too at North Dakota for 1 year, Eddie and Doc, Jonathan Toews.
He is the guy who will be assigned to get this started with a face-off win. That didn't pan out, though, and so the Blackhawks must drop back. And that one was cleared out of play, apparently, in the bench area near Pierre. Wednesday night rivalry is on NBCSN. The Philadelphia Flyers head to Beantown to take on the Bruins. The night you love to hate begins next Wednesday at 7 Eastern. The NHL is on NBCSN. Off this tie-up, it's brushed on back, and Duncan Keith faked the drive and gave it over to Kane. Kane has a man Panarin, but hands on back to Hossa. Delays now with Panarin inside the four-man defensive box. On the outside, curls Taves. Then back to Hossa, then Taves yet again. Tips the shoulder and works in deep. Kane there. Tried to return, but it skipped across. Settled down by Hossa. Given on to Kane. It is Kane across. One-timer. Oh, ricocheted off Taves as it was headed wide from Panarin. Now Kane yet again. To the back it comes to Hossa. Led back over to Keith. Then Hossa's shot. Save made. Rebound. Oh, and it wouldn't go for Panarin. Blackhawks look good on this power play, but it is cleared right back down by Lawton.
Boy, tremendous goaltending by Michael Neuvert.
Halfway through the penalty kill for the Flyers. Couldn't be stopped by Anisimov. Could by Manning, and back down it goes. Along now for Seabrook again. Blackhawks back on the attack as that one is carried right back in by Teravainen. Knocked off his stick from behind by White. White able to get it over to Manning. He can't go much further, though. It is reached by Anisimov and then shuttled on back for the kneeling block by Seabrook and given on for Daly. Across now, Teravainen, a shot blocked away to the corner by Manning. Teravainen saw that one given up, though, and rifled back down by Del Zotto.
Good anticipation there by Michael Del Zotto, reading the play, helping out Manning.
Gliding along with this and carrying out is Trevor Daly. Dropped it back off for a little acceleration that comes from Kane. Given on over to Andrew Shaw. Dropped it back for Keith. Keith led it across. Daly a shot. Fought off by Neuvert. Rebound bounced in front. Touched on back, kept alive by Keith. 2 seconds and 1. Penalty timeout. Kane gives it to the back. Keith holds there. Kane a drive, and it went wide to the short side. Rattled on near Daly. Touched back out again, and Daly has to rush back away from Couturier. Crawford with the long toss. It goes back down, and after it is Taves. Cancels out there with Medvedev. Meanwhile, banked along by Streit. Crunching along further was Keith, but it's pushed well away, and Hjalmarsson will go back, no icing. On the turning stick of Panarin. And he swings it further for Keith. 4:50 gone, third period of play. No shots for the Flyers thus far. 3 for the Blackhawks, 2-0 Philly. They crash back in and more battling. Streit pushed it back along. Held there, though, by Van Riemsdyk. Fires, and that deflected just wide as getting a stick on it appeared to be Kruger. To the outside, it is worked by Panarin. Could not fiddle his way through. A chance now for Raffl moving in. Canceled out by the body of Van Riemsdyk. Played with the help of Crawford by Van Riemsdyk ahead and carried by Desjardins. Moving back in with Panarin, but he left the puck behind. And it is lobbed on back for more control by Seabrook. Teravainen with the pass. Ricocheted back down. No icing on this play. Thrown by Garbett. Ricocheted right back. Chopped away from Bickle.
Good hustle by Garbett to negate the icing there.
Brought back on now by Lawton. Flung further, and it went off of Svedberg. Chasing him down is Gagne. Got it on to Lawton, and Lawton duels there with Bickle behind. Lawton prevailed and shoved it on for a play back to the point. Del Zotto a shot, canceled out by Bickle. Meanwhile, carried back ahead. Fought back in again by Ryan Garvin. Turned back over, though, and they try to shuffle it on to Bickle, did Taves, but it is cleared away from all Blackhawks and back down, no icing. Clock just continues to move. 13:40 to go. Third period. 2-0 in favor of the home team. Nick Schultz banged it along. Shrugged back along off Tikhonov. Then along to Gudas. Turned away from Hossa. Gained good possession there. Got it on for the fling back out again by Simmons. That's corralled by Daly. And Daly fired one that ricocheted out of play near Pierre. 13:19 to go. Third period of play. The old scoreboard still shows this a 2-0 game for the home team.
By Flyers. There's Brandon Manning, and then watch Michael Del Zotto. The shot block. Now watch Del Zotto anticipate the pass going down below, anticipates it, and airmails it down.
Part of penalty killing is having goaltending. Michael Neuvirth fights that one off with the Jonathan Toews screen. And how about this one? Kane to Panarin. Look where Toews is. Just can't get a stick on it. The goalie Neuvirth didn't have to make a save, but that was close.
Back in deep it goes. Van de Velde around behind. Pushed it along further and then got some help. And it's sent on for Belmar. A shot was blocked off by Crawford. Scurrying away with it is Daly. Played it back up the wing. The follow-up now comes from Kane. Connects back over now for Anisimov to give to Panarin. He has 4 scoring chances, Panarin, 3 in this period. Across now, Daly a shot. Oh, and that wounded temporarily, at least, Del Zotto. Thrown in front, and that ricocheted off Panarin's skate. Dumped right back in deep, and it's taken by Panarin again. He's all over. Gives it back to Kane, then a one-time blast from Van Riemsdyk. That one is blocked courageously by White. Held again, and a pass across is settled down by Kane. Regathers, and then backhanded one across. It is Panarin moving with it again. Panarin circles and hands it on to Kane. Swaggers through traffic. Holds. Backhanded one. Paddled away by Neuvirth. Taken along further by Daly.
Blackhawk defensively much more aggressive in the offensive zone. Just saw Trevor Daly standing right off to the side of Neuvirth.
Yeah, especially Trevor Daly. Last 2 sequences. Totally agree.
On the icing, let's go inside the glass. Here's Pierre.
Thanks a lot, Doc. Let's talk about another kind of defense. Radko Gudas of the Philadelphia Flyers and what he's going to mean to this team. He's nasty at the point of attack. You can ask Patrick Kane. He can block shots and win races. He's not afraid to take hits to make plays, but that's what he's going to bring to the Flyers. He will become a fan favorite here because of the physical nature of his game. Came over in the Braden Colburn trade. He represented his home country at the World Junior in 2009 in Ottawa, and because of his performance there, it got him drafted or taken in the Western Hockey League by the Everett Silvertips. His career completely changed after that performance at the World Junior.
You know, you were talking about rough play in boxing here. Premier Boxing Champions is back Saturday on NBC. Lamont Peterson returns to take on undefeated Felix Diaz. And Pritchard Colon and Terrell Williams face off. Premier Boxing Champions returns Saturday at 4 Eastern on NBC. And in that same theme, gentlemen, Dave Schultz celebrates a birthday today. Daniel Charnquist, Skip Craik, Alexei Kasatonov, Perry Anderson, Sylvain Lefebvre, Billy Tibbetts, and Matt Smaby. And we should mention Bob Chase begins his 63rd year as voice of the Comets Friday night in Kalamazoo. Congratulations to him.
Flyers has some tired players on the ice. Dave Hextall used his timeout.
How much rest can they get in half a minute? Well, we'll see. They're able to emerge with this and play it back down, and so they can get some changes made here. As Duncan Keith, with his team down by 2 and 12 minutes to go, connects on to Hjalmarsson, who flies it on the backhand deep. Wright shovels it around there through Voracek. Off Hjalmarsson, brought ahead by Giroux and given across now to Raffl. Picks up Voracek and shot one that's knocked down by Hjalmarsson. Another shot blocked by number 4. Trickled back in now. Voracek moves to that, and Hjalmarsson got in the way of his centering pass. Gudas a shot. Oh, and that one rattled on around and went all the way out to where it's played by Medvedev on a delayed offside that is wiped out as the Flyers curl out. So now Duncan Keith holds. Shots are 24-19 Flyers. Brought ahead now by Hossa. Here's Hossa crossing and a shot fought up. Rebound and another sprawling stop is made at the Flyers goal crease by Neuberg.
He and Hossa have had a great showdown, huh, Eddie, tonight? Wow.
Boy, is he in his zone. Michael Neuvirth very deep in his net, almost on the goal line there, and Hossa able to hold on to that puck a second longer and think about throwing that puck, those hands upstairs towards the crossbar. There's room up there on Neuvirth, but he got in so tight, not able to elevate that puck, and another terrific save by the Flyer netminder.
It's a little Czech versus Slovak action. Neuvirth to Czech, also Slovak.
Seabrook, the Canadian, back over to Svedberg, and the shot is wide. Around behind, they battle for it there, but a good screen by Streit, so no one could get to the front. Brought on by Simmons, and lob back in, and he takes his own pass. Here's Simmons throwing one across the net mouth wide. Schultz with a shot that ricochets off the glove of Seabrook. Dumped on back again. Schultz goes defensively, watching Taves play it on through now to Hossa, and his shot is directed wide. Then drilled right out in front, and covering is Neuberg.
They're getting chances, Eddie and Doc. And 81's a major reason why. And this line with Taves, Hossa, and now Tikhonov have done a lot of damage. They just haven't been able to dent the twine. But it's a nice job of Hossa winning a race, getting the puck on goal. Look where Tikhonov goes. Second straight part of the sequence. He goes right to the front.
Good play there by Nick Schultz to tie up Tikhonov.
8 scoring chances in this period, 7 by the Blackhawks. You would expect a surge from them after the first 2 periods. And they have provided it here. They weren't the champs for nothing. Kane will step in as Anisimov is waved out. Face-off won by the Flyers, fired on around. They try for Raffle. It goes on through him and Van Riemsdyk, and Kane touches it across. Trevor Daley blasted through the checkered line back in again. Forced around behind by Raffle, off of Panarin, guided back out again by Voracek. Racing for it is Giroux, and a good reach on him by Van Riemsdyk. Then Raffle, then Giroux, pivoting and sending one that was stifled for a moment by Daley. Fed on for another shot by Giroux, and a high save is made by Crawford. Sparred for again, it's Voracek once more. Tired group out there in the white and black. Meanwhile, the battle on, kicked away by Van Riemsdyk, guided back up the boards, taken by Kane, fed back across for Daley, and the defense can make a change for Chicago and the forwards as well. Here's Panarin guiding it around behind. The hope of the Blackhawks in this game, the way he's played, a little pass ricochets on now to Hjalmarsson. Hjalmarsson dropped it on, wheeling with it is Kane. Kane steps to the outside, got it across, and then it's fed back to him, but was too tight and canceled away by Del Zotto. Played out of play into the Flyers bench area, and play is stopped. The big man on defense, Trevor Van Riemsdyk with a defensive gem. You're watching Wednesday Night Rivalry presented by Coors Light. The Coors Light cold hard facts pertaining to Jake Voracek. 230th consecutive game with the Flyers, most among active Flyers. Last year, mentioned tied for 4th in the NHL, 2nd in assists, and an 8-year 66M extension in the off-season. And this morning he said, with great enthusiasm, this is the greatest job in the world. Something he's always wanted to do. The pay is good, but boy, does he ever enjoy this sport. Battled for there and popped up to the glass. Belmar run into, but is able to play it back toward the point. Medvedev tried to play further, and a penalty is coming up.
Ryan White.
Slash.
Yeah, it's on Ryan White.
This is a new age penalty, isn't it, Eddie? In your day, knocked the guy's stick out of his hand. It was his fault, not yours.
Yeah, he knocked the stick out of the hands of Brian Bickle right there. Not sure if the stick ended up breaking or not. An opportunity and a half again for the visitors, down by 2.
Four forwards, 1D.
Taves on the draw. Another of those forwards, Kane moves in. Panarin there and Hossa. The 1D. Keith saw it go off his glove, but it's ruled a hand pass. The chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup playoffs continues live from Kansas Sunday 1:30 Eastern on NBC. Racing begins with the future stars of NASCAR in the Xfinity Series race Saturday 3:30 Eastern on NBC SN. And Kane will get a stick repair. On Friday, two Flyers fans, Charles and Lucille Sayer, celebrate their 72nd anniversary. They are both 95. And after all those years, Lucille's favorite Flyer is still Brad Marsh, who is here now as a goodwill ambassador for the team. Congratulations to them. Glad to see Brad back in Philly. Led back ahead now for Patrick Kane, nudges it on for Hossa. Hossa led further now for Keith. For Hossa, but cut off and shuttled back down by Reed. 8:43 to go, third period of play. Is this a last gasp opportunity for the team from Chicago? Trying to cut the lead in half on the power play. It is Hossa filtering it back. Keith a drive, save, rebound, slammed right into Neuberg by Taves. Touched across, Del Zotto with room, lays it back out. Moving ahead with it now. It's Belmar with a save made by Crawford on him. Belmar again fed it across, cut there, and steered back ahead by Panarin. Led back over, and Teravainen has to circle back. Swept back in by Vandevelde. More killing time by the Flyers. And the clock ticks down to the last 45 seconds on this power play.
Heck of a job there by Belmar and Vandevelde.
Daly gave it to Shaw. Shaw with an opening back to Daly, side of the net. Pushed it off Neuberg. Rebound set wide by Shaw. Shaw to the outside with it now. Gave it on back to Seabrook. Across Teravainen, a shot snapped out of the air by Neuberg.
Not much early on this power play. Second unit comes out. Trevor Daly, defenseman down near the goal line. Takes it right to the net, and Michael Neuberg with another good stop off the one-timer there from Teuvo Teravainen.
That man's last time with a goose egg by his name in an NHL game, March 11th, 2012 against Toronto, other than the other night.
That one cleared out of play. There's going to be a penalty coming up for delaying the game.
Shut Florida out 1-0 the other night.
Radko Gudas will go to the box.
Timeout coming here for Chicago, possibly. With the number one unit on the bench when that penalty happened, they're not going to use that timeout. If they don't score on this 5-on-3, maybe they do take it to give their number one unit an opportunity to play the full 2-minute power play.
Blackhawks have gotten 4 shots on goal on this power play already. Hossa hands it across. Here's Keith moving in. Back to Hossa once more. Dealt in, Kane across the net mouth, hoping for Panarin. Now Keith with it yet again. A dozen left on the first penalty. It's Kane once more. Back to Hossa. Across to Keith. To Hossa again. Kicks to control and gives it back to Keith. Then Hossa. Then Keith again. Hossa touches to Kane. They look to the side of the net. First penalty's over. Blocked by Del Zotto and cleared.
Del Zotto's made about 5 or 6 of those type of plays. Well, his team has been shorthanded here tonight.
Former coach Craig Berube watching this, and he talked so glowingly about how Del Zotto had produced for them last year. Brought on now by Taves. Shut down by Couturier. Drifts with it now, chewing up time. Lobs it back in. 1:07 to go on the kill. Matt Reed battles there to chew up more time. Along comes Taves. Off of Seabrook, regathered and skated a while. And thrown back in by Couturier. Under 6.5 to go in the third period. 26 shots apiece. But the Blackhawks still have not scored. And offside is called.
Missed opportunity for the Blackhawks on that 5-on-3, and a lot of it has to do with the outstanding anticipation there of Michael Del Zotto. Kane trying to force that puck past him, but as I mentioned earlier, he's made about 5 or 6 of those type of plays when his team has been shorthanded. Outstanding work by Michael Del Zotto, who had a chance to visit with this morning, and Just talks about the confidence level, the opportunity he's been given here in Philadelphia, and really knowing that if he makes a mistake, there's a pretty good chance that he's going to go right back out there, where in his previous stops, that wasn't the case. So I think he's certainly feeding off of that and the way he's played here tonight since being a Flyer. He's been a different player and very effective player.
57 shots this week on the Flyer goaltender. 57 saves. Seabrook connects ahead. Pivoting with it. Nice through the legs pass by Anisimov. Unable to get to the front, though. Teravainen. It's rattled on around and can be taken by Giroux and flung ahead. Chased on down by Ryan White. White rushed a bit there by Seabrook. Turns. Penalty time is up. Out of the box is Gudas. Full strength action with 5.5 to go, and the deficit for the Stanley Cup champs is 2. So Manning gave it on a cross. Pass to no one in particular. Drilled back along again for a touchback further by Garbutt. Garbutt muscles back in again. His inclination for sure. And it's twisted around further. Bickle tried to grab, could not. Gudas skipped it along. Good keep by Hjalmarsson. Popped it in the air, glove down, and then tapped on further by Couturier. Crawford able to play it along. Hjalmarsson fed it across. Van Riemsdyk able to play it along before he was run into by Simmons. 8 shots on the power play for the Blackhawks tonight, and they are empty in 5 opportunities, including a brief 5-on-3. Van Riemsdyk ahead now, 4:40 to go. Rips it right back around again. Bellemare stood up there and locked up with Tikhonov. Tikhonov able to move along further, escapes, fed it to the side, Hossa to Taves, and he couldn't bury it. Thrown by Van Riemsdyk and held by Neuberg. It looked like a sure first goal of the night for the Blackhawks. Their captain at the side of the net, but it would not go. It's still 2-0 Philadelphia.
Take a look at the Blackhawks' upcoming schedule on CSN. Chicago tomorrow in Washington, and then following Thursday against Florida, and then Monday against Anaheim. We'll take a look at the Flyers' upcoming schedule on CSN Philadelphia.
Get back to that in a moment. Meanwhile, turning is Taves. Taves angled it on back, and here's Keith giving it across to Seabrook again. Then back to Keith once more. Seabrook again. Flyers save made by Neuberg. They got a nice little vacation according to that schedule. 6 days, no game.
Well, here's that CSN Philadelphia schedule for the Flyers. Stars, Rangers, and on October 27th, Jack Eichel and the Buffalo Sabres.
What's your take on the young guys around the league? McDavid, Eichel, Larkin. Eddie?
Really impressed with Larkin. McDavid got his first last night in Dallas on a beautiful redirect, and what a goal the other night. His second by Eichel. Little curl and drag. I love the defensive work that he had to get that chance.
It's another strong shot by Panarin. Grabbed off by Neuberg. Carried back ahead. Giroux with it there. Looks and threw one across the net mouth. Good defensive job done by Panarin. Back to check there. Goes down.
Plays.
Here's Voracek unable to push it through Seabrook. Yeah, he's looked great, hasn't he?
Gotten a lot of opportunity and been everywhere, and that's why Joel Quenneville has double shifted him a couple of times, and you need your best players on the ice, and he's been one of those here again tonight.
Inspired performance by the Flyers tonight. 30 shots by the Blackhawks. None have got through. The chances in this period, 13-2 Chicago. And the shots on goal, 14-3. But none in. Pitched along by Taves. Off of Van de Velde. Marches ahead. Lobs it back in. Rubbed out by Daly.
See how aggressive Joel Quenneville gets with Corey Crawford. Pull him to get an extra attacker.
They need 2, and 3 minutes are left in regulation time as of now. Bellemare after this one. Tikhonov tried to push it through, could not. Simmons stymied there. Taves shoves it on. Tikhonov nudged it onto Hossa. Touched away, though, and a good play made there by Couturier. Laid on back, and it's golf to Couturier again. Brought it back on and nudged onto Simmons. A shot. Oh, fought up by Crawford. Rebound. They
Flyers get this goal because of how they shut down any offense for the Blackhawks through the middle of the ice. Great defense leads to this opportunity for Wayne Simmonds, and the puck ends up in the back of the net.
And a quick release by Simmonds, and then Matt Reed does what you're supposed to do. Go to the net with your stick on the ice, rebound attempt, right through Crawford, 3-0.
Joe Quenneville could be challenging this play. Was this play offside? He called the referees over, waiting to communicate with their video coach. And decided not to use his coach's challenge.
Played out of play into the Flyers bench area.
Oh, very, very close. See the linesman in the background there waving his hand. The puck's got to be completely over the line. But Joe Quenneville was talking, communicating with assistant coach Kevin Dineen, waiting to get word, was it or wasn't it, and decided not to challenge it.
Matt Reed's second goal of the year from Simmonds and Couturier, and the deficit is 3. Now the Flyers as a group focus on the job their goaltender has done in this contest tonight to see whether it can be another 0 that stays. 2 minutes to go in the third. Hjalmarsson connects ahead. Desjardins shuffled it on. Gathered in by Simmonds and played around behind. Pitched on by Manning. Touched further by Desjardins. Muscled across, and it is settled down by Couturier and slammed right back in. 100 to go. Garbutt tried to finesse it ahead, got it on to Bickle, who reversed back. Teravainen circles. Van Riemsdyk there. It is Daly again. Weaves his way and fires it back, steering traffic with his big ball stick. It's a guy who's been tremendous tonight, Michael Neuberg. Taken along by Tikhonov, chopped on back to Van Riemsdyk. Lobbed it back in deep. Touched around behind, a wraparound attempt by Anisimov was wide. Brushed off a high stick, carried back up now by Raffl. Raffl with a couple of moves. Turns away and is locked up by Tikhonov. Played back up the boards off of Bickle. Voracek there. Gudas' shot, and that one tangled up. And shaken up a little bit seemed to be Giroux, but he's back on his feet now. Marching on with it is Anisimov. Anisimov tries to finesse by, swept away by Gudas. Kept there by Seabrook, and a shot was shanked wide off of Anisimov's stick. Seabrook again popped one in front. Kick to control there. Guided along to Van de Velde. Slips one on, hoping for Belmar. Belmar moving in along with Seabrook. Touched on to Svedberg with 20 to go. The fans are standing. Play is stopped. Too many men on the ice penalty has been called.
And it's going to be on the Blackhawks.
Well, the story of the night has been Michael Neuberg. He's been stellar. Doc and Eddie have been talking about him all night long, fighting off the table. Teravainen right there, the wraparound move. Jonathan Toews, how about this breakaway save to score 1-0 against Marian Hossa. Stares down Hossa again. Rebound opportunity for Viktor Tikhonov. He has been stellar all game long. He's faced 30 and he's stopped 30.
Kicked on back, shoveled across, Gudas' shot. That one ricocheted wide. Played along behind by Simmonds and filtered on. 61 shots, 61 saves. What a week this has been for Michael Neuberg. Back-to-back shutouts for him. Career-wise, numbers 8 on Monday and number 9 tonight. Wednesday night rivalry presented by Coors Light. 3-0 Flyers For Darcy Rhoda, Daryl Stanley, Phil Russell, Yuri Lottle, and Dave Feemster. For Liam McHugh, Mike Milbury, Keith Jones, Eddie Olczyk, Pierre Maguire, a cast of many. Join the post-game panel to discuss all the top storylines from Week 1 in the NHL. Right after these messages from Philly, good night all.